Have you ever been in that moment? You know the one. You meet someone new, they ask you a super simple question, and your mind just goes completely blank? Well, today, we're going to make sure that never, ever happens again. We're going to break down one of the most common questions in English and give you a simple framework so you'll always have a great answer ready to go.
So picture this. You're at a party, or maybe it's your first day in a new class. You're feeling a little nervous, a little excited, and then someone turns to you with a friendly smile and asks that one question we've all heard a million times. Yep, that's the one. Tell me about yourself. And suddenly, your mind is racing. Like, what do they really want to know? Am I supposed to give my entire life story? It's a question that can feel surprisingly high pressure. But you know what? It really doesn't have to be.
And here's the good news. This question isn't a test at all. In fact, it's an opportunity. It's basically an invitation from someone to share a little piece of who you are and start a real connection. And by the end of this, you'll have a simple, easy-to-remember framework to answer that invitation with total confidence.
So, what's the secret to a great answer? Well, first, you gotta understand what they're really asking. They don't want your autobiography. Nope. They're just looking for a quick snapshot, a few friendly sentences to get the conversation rolling. That's it! And the best way to give them that snapshot is with a simple four-part formula. It's so easy to remember, you'll be using it without even thinking about it. Ready to see it?
Okay, here's the core of it. It's just 4 simple steps. Start with your name, then where you're from, your job or what you study, and finally, you just add one thing you like. That's it. Seriously, that's your foundation for a perfect, concise introduction.
Let's see this formula in action. So here's Paul. He gives his name, his job, and then adds this great little bit of personality with what he likes and dislikes. See? It's simple, it's friendly, and it gets the point across in just a few seconds. And here's another great example with Emily. She follows the exact same pattern: name, student status, and a few personal details. And I love how she adds a dislike, not liking to wake up early. I mean, who does, right? It's so relatable and makes her seem more approachable, more human. Now, once you're comfortable with that basic formula, you can start to add a bit more detail. Think of it as adding personal layers to your introduction, especially when the conversation feels right and you want to share a little more about yourself.
You could talk about your family, your pets, or maybe dive into your hobbies and favorite movies. The trick is to just pick 1 or 2 of these. You don't want to overwhelm the other person with too much information all at once, you know?
Here's how that looks in practice. Paul uses that same core formula and then just adds in a couple of those personal layers: his sister, his dog, and his taste in music. It's a longer answer, sure, but it's still really concise and it gives a much, much better sense of who he is as a person.
Okay, now we come to what is perhaps the most important tip of all. The real secret to mastering this question, to really making a connection, is to know your audience and adapt your answer to the situation you're in.
Think about it this way. What you share in a classroom will probably be different from what you share at a party, right? In class, mentioning why you're learning English is a great way to connect with your classmates. At a party, talking about a fun hobby like painting or your favorite music is a much better conversation starter. The context determines the content. It's that simple. And this brings us right back to that key mindset shift. Tell me about yourself isn't a test you have to pass. It's an invitation. It's someone reaching out, giving you an opportunity to connect with them. And when you start to see it that way, it's not so scary after all. So now you have the formula, you have the layers, and you have the strategy. You have all the tools to turn this question from a source of anxiety into an opportunity for connection. The only question left is, the next time someone gives you that invitation, what will you say?